Hello everyone, welcome to Hair Prayer and Self-Care. This portion is going to be on self-care, and this week what I want to talk about is nutrition. I'm going to be looking at my notes a little bit, but what I do want to say is that exercise, just like nutrition, is extremely important, not only for long term, but for short term as well. Whatever we eat either affects us positively or negatively, and the amount we eat, whether too much or too little, really affects us as well. So first, what I wanted to talk about were the things that we need in order for our body to thrive, in order for our body to function properly. There are two separate things that we need. We need macronutrients and micronutrients. Those are two different things. So for macronutrients, those consist of our proteins, our fats, and our carbs. And then for our micronutrients, that consists of our vitamins and our minerals. Also, notice that I didn't say water, but water is still pretty important. Okay, that's important as well. So going into the macronutrients, let's go into what each one does and how it's important for our body to have every single day. So proteins, for one, those are really good for repairing, building, restoring tissues and our muscles. That's really what that's good for. And it's also just to help us to grow and repair and just really to protect ourselves. Fats, on the other hand, they are there to, store energy and to create certain hormones. And the more fats that we eat, the more full we feel. So that's a good sign too. I feel a lot of times fats are, looked at as a bad thing because they make you fat. But in the end, it's just you have to eat the right fats, and the right fats will get your body to be performing really well, and you really need those. And then carbs, on the other hand, are the main energy source. Typically when we eat carbs, things that have a lot of carbs, we either get energy from them, or our body is using that energy to break down lots of things. And it's also that's just like the main thing it is. But then I don't want to get too deep into it, but I just want to give you an overview of what these things do. And then water, I'm just going to throw that into macro nutrient category, just because we need water every single day, multiple times throughout the day. Water is really there to help absorb and distribute the nutrients and things that we eat, and it flushes out toxins and any waste that we have. It's just really, there's so many benefits, but these are just like some basic ones that I want to give. So micronutrients, on the other hand, these are not produced by the body, so we need to get those from the foods that we eat. Vitamins are really good for immune function. They're really good for blood clotting, energy distribution and production. And then minerals, on the other hand, are really good for your growth, your bone development, and things like that. So that's why we have, those daily vitamins, because all of those things really help us, help our bones, help our organs, help our brain, help our eyesight. It really helps everything in our body. So those are important to have as well. The reason why they're called micronutrients, on the other hand, is because we really need a little bit amount of those daily. However, on the macronutrients, we need kind of lots of those throughout the day in order to have our energy and to have our body functioning and moving properly and just to be healthy. So that's just the short part about the importance of nutrition on all the things that you eat. We all know about junk food, and we know about really healthy food. Those affect our bodies differently. For example, healthy food, is good because it has, for example, let's just say avocado. Avocado is really good food because it has the fats you need. It has some sources of protein, and it also has a good amount of carbs and fiber, which we need. Fiber is a type of carb, by the way. Our body does not digest it. We don't digest it. There's a lot of things that are that are part of that, but like I said, I don't want to get into it because I kind of want to make this kind of a short video. But avocado is good for you, and it meets all those requirements. And not only does it have a good amount of fats and carbs, and like I said, the fiber, it also has a good amount of vitamins and minerals as well. So that's what we would call like a really healthy food, and sometimes a superfood, because it has so much nutrients packed into that food. On the other hand, let's say French fries, for example. Everyone loves French fries, but they're really not that good for you because, they're deep fried in oils and fats that are not good for us. And it's a really starchy carb, it's just like too much potatoes, too much, and then the salt and then the fat, that's not good for you. I mean, you might find like trace elements of something that's good for you, but overall it does more damage than it does good. And as much as they're tasty, they're just not good for you. So, some ways that you could get around it if you want to be healthy but still try to eat those is, air fry them or have chips or something like that. But that's for another time. So now we went over the importance of nutrition and importance of the things that we put into our body. I want to go into some different goals that we could have when it comes to nutrition. So there could be weight goals. Some people may want to gain weight. Some people may want to lose weight. Some people just want to stay the same weight. That's a typical goal. Whenever nutrition and exercise is brought up, people usually have the goal of either wanting to lose or gain weight, gain muscle, get bigger, or slim down. And that's totally fine. But then when you go a little deeper, there's also different goals that people have as well. Like for health reasons, for myself, I try to adhere to a gluten-free diet for health reasons. And there's other things too. Some people want to go keto, or some people want to eat less sweets, or any goal is a goal. It could be small, it could be huge, but some people, there's different reasons for why we have our goals. For me, for example, I want to eat less sweets and I want to eat more fruits and veggies and that's not really eliminating anything. That's really just adding on to what I want to do, so it's like I don't want to deprive myself of anything. I really want to just add on and try to make myself better by adding things. So what I would want to do, like I said, add more vegetables, add more fruit, eat less sweets. That kind of is adding or like taking away. But think about it like this: the more healthy things I eat, the more full I'll be, especially if I have those fats because they're filling, then the less I would want to crave those sweets, you see? So, and then some people want to be dairy free because they're lactose intolerant. Some people want more protein so they can gain, more mass. And, some people are keto or paleo, they don't want to eat, refined foods, or they don't want to eat things that have a lot of carbs. There's just so many different goals that people have. And depending on the goals, it allows you to figure out what you can and probably should not eat. But instead of thinking about the things that you should not eat, think more of eating more of the good things that you should have. For myself personally, when I think of things that I shouldn't have, it makes me want that more. And if I want it more, I'm more than likely gonna eat that thing that I really shouldn't have, just because it's like on my mind, like, oh, I can't have this, I can't have this. But, we really need to scratch that mentality. Think of the things that you need, and just eat it. Just eat like more vegetables, but continue with your diet. You have to start off small. You have to start off somewhere. And if it seems too overwhelming to eliminate everything you have, you're never going to be successful because it's going to be too hard. What you really need to do is just start off small. So say like, I eat McDonald's for every meal. I'm like, okay, I am used to eating McDonald's for every meal. So it's unlikely that I'm going to stop eating McDonald's for every meal. So think about it like this: eat McDonald's for every meal, but make sure that you have a protein shake, or make sure that you eat vegetables as well. Then the more that you do that, incorporate those healthy habits and into your lifestyle, the more likely that you're gonna try to stray away from those things that are unhealthy. For example, for me, I trained for a bikini competition a while ago, and I had to eat very healthy. I couldn't eat anything that was sweet. I couldn't have any sweets, and that was extremely hard for me. I always say that was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, and I have 2 kids. So I don't know, it was just really tough, because it's like I was giving up things that was not something that I was used to. It was really hard having to give things up that I'm so used to having. But let me tell you this, after I did that, after I, got rid of those things, I trained for about a month and a half. Once it was over, I was good, I could eat whatever I want. So yeah, sure, I ate whatever I want, but my body was so conditioned to eat the good things and to not have any nastiness in my diet, no sweets, no junk food, anything like that. That when I did eat that junk food and when I did eat those sweets, it really affected my body negatively. Like I would get stomach aches, I just would feel so sick and so heavy and so gross. So it's like things like that. Like the more you incorporate those healthy habits and the healthy lifestyle, the more you're gonna want to stray away from eating unhealthy, because it really just makes you feel bad. And if it makes you feel bad, you most likely don't want to do it. That's just how it is. People don't like to do things that harm them. I mean, sometimes they do, but when they really realize and learn like how it's detrimental in the long run, that kind of changes people's minds, because it's like, so you're starting small, but then anticipating stuff in the future. So, that's just what helps for me. So I just wanted to go over the nutrition, the importance of nutrition, different goals that people may have. And now I just want to go into a few recipe ideas that have worked for me. I'm not the best chef in the world, but I'm very simple when it comes to eating, especially for myself. Like for my husband and for my kids, I'll probably, do a little bit more because, they're a little bit more picky and they want certain things a certain way. But for myself, I find I'm extremely simple and I don't want to go crazy overboard. I like to do things that are easy, but also really beneficial. So with that said, I'll just give you guys some random recipes for breakfast, some snacks, and like lunch/dinner. So for breakfast, what I usually like to do is go for a whole milk yogurt. I like whole milk because it has protein and it has a lot of fats, the fats and the protein that are good for you. So that way I knock that out in the morning, like I don't like to get the 1% or the no fat or low fat yogurt because I want fat in my diet. And it's kind of hard to get it other places. So the yogurt is a really good one for me. And then I usually get the plain yogurt, and yes, it's disgusting. So that's why I don't like to buy the yogurt that already has sweetener in it, because I don't like all those extra ingredients or anything like that. So I just get whole milk yogurt, plain. And then with that, I buy jelly that's like organic or natural, that only has like 2 ingredients, sugar and blueberries. I mean, either way, I want the sugar. I just don't want all that extra stuff in it because I want it to be sweet. I want it like what I eat. So I put like a tablespoon of jelly in my yogurt, stir it up, and then probably throw some berries in there. That's a good one. And since I like to do gluten-free, I get like gluten-free bread and then toast it and then put like some butter on it. Butter's good because it has good fats. It's way better than margarine, and it's better than like those fake butters and things like that. So butter in itself is good because that has one or 2 ingredients and it's a good fat for you. And so after I put butter on it, then I put avocado on it. That's good. And if that's too simple, sometimes I just sprinkle on a little bit of pepper or something like that. Like that's always good for me. So, or I'll have oatmeal, plain oatmeal, and then put some butter in it, put some cinnamon, a little bit of sugar, maybe some bananas. That's always good for me. So I love like breakfasts that are sweet, but I like things that are organic, that don't have a lot of ingredients in them, because I just really want to know what I'm eating. And if there's something on the package that I don't understand, it like really throws me off. And I'm like, I just don't really feel comfortable eating stuff like that. So those are some three different breakfast ideas I have. And then, you could always do eggs. And then sometimes eggs by themselves are really like not that great. So sometimes what I would do is I cook up some potatoes. Potatoes are good. With some olive oil or some butter. I feel like those are really good oils to cook with. So I would do oil or butter for potatoes, cook up some eggs, and then, throw some beans or some tomatoes, some cilantro, just to make it kind of like a breakfast burrito bowl, something like that. So those are my traditional go-tos. They're really easy, really simple, and they're good. They're good and they're good for you. So those are the things that I typically eat in the morning. I usually never stray from those unless I have pancakes. Gluten-free, though. I'm working on gluten-free. So those are my typical breakfast things that I stick to. I mean, if you have any other ideas, I'd love to have them, but I like something simple and something tasty, so that's just me. Okay, so then for snacks, honestly, I would just say nuts. Nuts are really good. I'm allergic to a lot of nuts, but I am not allergic to peanuts, and I love peanuts, so I will eat peanuts all day, every day. So those are some really good snacks. I consider a protein shake a snack. So for a protein shake, what I would do, since I'm also kind of dairy-free, like milk is really heavy and it really hurts my stomach. So I try not to go for milk. So what I would drink is like coconut milk. I like coconut milk better than almond milk, but I'll drink whatever really. I just usually look at the ingredients and see which one has, you know, the least amount. So I will take some coconut milk, a banana, protein shake, peanut butter, cinnamon, a drizzle of honey, anything like that. Sometimes I throw some oatmeal, some chia seeds, maybe an avocado, sometimes some spinach, because you can't really taste that. You can't taste spinach when you mix it up into a smoothie. So that's what I do, just so I can get, you know, a lot of vitamins, a lot of minerals. I get my protein, I get my fats, and I get my carbs all in that one shake, you know, and it's all good for me. So that's a really good snack because, and it keeps me feeling full. I down it because, you know, for me, protein shakes or just shakes in general are like really hard for me to drink. I feel like I'm gonna gag and throw up because they're just so nasty. I'm used to drinking them when, you know, that's besides the point. Anyway, protein shakes are really good. They're really good for you, like for the protein, the carbs, and the fat. So that's a really good snack too. Another good snack, something that I like to do is sometimes take fruit and then drizzle on some lime juice and then some honey and stir it up. Absolutely bomb. Maybe chop up a little bit of mint or something, or some basil. Like, it's really good. You know, you just gotta find ways to experiment. And then, you know, just fruit by itself is good too. Or something that's like not so high in carbs, but something that you could do like something protein, like maybe, you know, sometimes chips and salsa is good. Chips are not bad, you know. It's just that how much you eat, it's in excess, but it's like, the tomatoes are good for you. You can like mix it up, do some guac and chips, you know, get creative. And I like to do chips that actually like are really good and have like some like, you know, chia seeds or flax seeds or, you know, turmeric or something like that. Crackers, something gluten-free, something just really good and healthy that has good things in it. So that's all I have for snacks. I wish I could have more, but I'm not really a snacking type person, so I usually like the meals. And then for dinner, this is a good one. For me, I like to do a lot of soups. Soups are really good because you can throw a lot of stuff in there. You can throw your meat, you can throw your vegetables, you can throw your fats in there, especially after the fact. So soups are really good. Like, I love taco soups, you know, like any type of like Mexican type soups. Those are really good to me because it has so much packed in there that I don't even have to, you know, make something on the side, you know? So, and then sometimes what I like to do, sorry, my phone said it was at 20%. But sometimes I also like to add some rice into the soup, you know, to add some extra carbs, because sometimes soup by itself is not as filling and it doesn't have that many components to it, even though it does have a lot of nutrients and protein. Because I always put meat in there. I always put, you know, beans, any type of veggies that I can find. And I definitely make sure I season it really well because I like to enjoy what I eat, even though it's healthy. So I try to make sure that happens. And then for dinner, especially for my husband, I always make him, you know, some sort of meat, whether it's chicken, steak, lamb, whatever. You gotta have the meat. And then I also either always have rice or I have potatoes. Like I said, I'm very simple. And then I always have a vegetable. My favorite ones to work with are broccoli and zucchini and squash. So those are and green beans. So those are and asparagus, but those are the ones that I typically work with. And I make sure to incorporate those every night, but I also make sure that they're really good. So rice is basic, you know, easy. You can meal prep a bunch of that, save that, eat that throughout the week. That's really good, and that's always something that you can eat. Protein, I always like to meal prep protein as well and then heat it up the next day. But if not, it's so easy and so quick just to cook a piece of chicken or a piece of steak. You know, it's pretty simple. It's like 10 minutes or less. And then vegetables, always easy. I typically kind of steam them, but what I do is I put it in a pot, fill the pot with either water or any type of broth, and then I put the veggies in there and I put it on high, cover it, and then, you know, let the water steam up and boil the veggies for just a little bit, so that way they can be like a little soft but still good and crisp. I typically don't do anything other than that. For zucchini, on the other hand, I put that on the skillet with some butter, and then, you know, cut it like, so say this is a circle, the zucchini, I cut it like this and then like that to make it to four 4 different sections, and then I cook it on one side, flip it on the other, then I squeeze some lemon and then some salt and pepper. And it's so easy, but you know, still good at the same time. So that's just what I'm trying to get at. Try to find things that you really like and try to make healthy versions of it. Or, you know, try to find different recipes. Like for myself, I downloaded the Fitman Cook app, and he has changed my life. You know, there's many different types of recipes on there, but I know that they're healthy, and I know I can try to experiment, and that's just so good, you know. And I forced myself to use that app because I paid for it, and I don't pay for a lot of apps, but since I paid for that and it wasn't cheap, okay, I consider $1.99 cheap, so it was not cheap. So I make sure that I use it, and because of that, I've learned different recipes that I could do, you know, and it's just so easy. So I just encourage you, look. And then it's also awesome because on that app it also shows me, you know, how much protein, how much fat, how much carbs are in the meal that I'm preparing. So it just makes it really easy. Sorry this video was so long. I was not planning on having it that long. I wanted 10 minutes, but 20 minutes, hopefully, if you got to the end, thank you, and I hope you learned something. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to go over for nutrition today. How important it is for you, different goals that you may have in mind, and some different ideas. You know, if you have some good ideas that are easy, simple, and bomb, please, you know, share. Because I really, you know, like I said, I'm simple, and I don't really venture out that much, but I would like to, just to make, you know, I like to try new things sometimes. But just so you know, I'm allergic to nuts except for peanuts and almonds, and I'm allergic to seafood. So if you have any recipes to share, just try to make sure that it's none of that, because I can't eat that. But anyways, I hope you guys really enjoyed this self-care video on nutrition. Probably next time I'm gonna maybe show you guys some things that I make, or go a little bit more in depth about nutrition. And so I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned a little something. If so, let me know. Tell me some ideas that you guys have. And again, thanks for watching here, Prayer and Self-Care. And goodbye.